Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out with Dominic Ingle at the famous Ingle Gym here in Sheffield. Just first of all, you've got Kid Galahad on Saturday, a big show headlined by KELL BROOK against Michael Zarafa. He's kind of marking time now, waiting for the winner of Josh Warrington against Kyle Frampton. How do you kind of keep him disciplined and mindset strong when he's waiting for this world title shot and has been for a little while now?
Well, you know, he's a disciplined kid anyway, so it's not too hard. He lives, breathes and boxing, and it's not difficult. You know, he knows he's got that fight coming up. This is just a tick-over fight to keep him active. He had a week off after his last fight, came straight back in the gym. He said he put him on this bill, get him in front of the Sheffield fans. And then, he's going to have a few days off over Christmas, and then he'll be back in the gym, because this fight, the winner of Frampton and Warrington is probably going to, take place maybe March, April, hopefully, unless the winner gives up the belt. Because to be honest, I can't actually see either of them wanting to fight Barry. They'll maybe, jump and box one of the other champions and leave that belt vacant. I think it's too much of a risk for him, but we'll see. I might be wrong. I think Warrington might fight him, but I don't think Frampton would. So, Barry knows he's in the home run at the minute. He's down the home straight, and he's just going to keep himself moving, training, and it's his lifestyle anyway. It's his job, so it's not a problem for him.
As we're talking about Saturday's bill, it wouldn't be complete if I didn't ask about KELL BROOK. What's the current situation between you guys? Is this just a one-off with him training somewhere else because it didn't fit logistically?
Well, listen, I've got a lot more guys training now. I've got 7 or 8 high-profile fighters. Maybe a year and a half ago there was KELL BROOK, Billy Joe Saunders, and Kid Galahad, and there's more fighters coming to them. We've got Nicola Adams back. She trained with us when she was an amateur in the Olympics. We've got a cruiserweight from Belgium, European champion called Yves Gabou. He's probably 1 or 2 fights away from world title fights. So we've got a lot of high-profile fighters in the gym. Liam Williams, Jason Quigley, and KELL's 32 now, and he always got the proper attention and the proper training. He was always the number one in the gym, and some people like to have that one-on-to-one all the time. And, everybody's got to... KELL's thinking about the future. I've got to think about the future. KELL's maybe got 1 or 2 fights left if he wants to do it. I'm still bringing kids through, from a lower level, and, bringing them through to the level that he's been at. So everybody's got to have a think about what they're doing. And if it works for KELL, maybe he'll come back. Personally, I can't see it, because once you make that kind of move, you're happy doing that, he's going to move on. It's not an issue. We're not going to fall out. We've had a good run. We've had some good times. We finished on a win. And, he's 32 now, and, it's hard to train the way I train people. It's easy to convince yourself there's another way to train and do what you want to do. People like to have control of what they do, a lot of fighters. Nazim Ahmed did it. He cleared off with, I think it was Oscar Suarez, was it, the trainer he had. And, when it came to the crunch fight, he had Emmanuel Stewart in the corner. So basically, he just had somebody rinsing his gum shield out. I mean, I don't know how good a trainer he was, but it worked for the fights when he was knocking over the stiffs. But when it came to the point where he had to fight somebody, it didn't work, because Naz got through on his ability. He had all his brothers around him telling him he was the best thing. It's great telling fighters you're the best thing since sliced bread, but you've actually got to train them, and you've got to know how to train them. And you can let fighters go along on their own steam. And Naz was a good fighter, KELL's a good fighter. They will get so far on their own steam. But when it comes to the point of a big fight, you need somebody who knows what they're doing. And that's the situation. Look at Gerald McClellan. I think when he was boxing Ben, he was supposed to be trained by, Emmanuel Stewart. And last minute he changed for somebody else. And look how drastically wrong that went. You've got to know, when to keep people in a fight, when to keep them out of a fight, what to do. There's lots of things about being a good trainer. It's not just about pad work. Everybody thinks we're great on the pads. Pads is just the icing on the cake. It's not good having a cake with all this fancy icing on, and then the cake tastes shit. Do you understand? It looks great. There's better padmen out there than me, but it's not about it's not about pads. We've got a picture there of Muhammad Ali on the wall. Look, did you ever see Muhammad Ali doing pads?
Not that I can recall.
No, because he didn't do pads. They didn't have pads in them days. They hit bags and they sparred and they did speedball and they skipped. So really, pad work's not even relevant really. It's good for taking the pressure off people when they got bad hands and they don't want to be sparring. It's good for certain things, but it's not the be all and end all. You can't win a fight on just doing pads. Although I believe Joe Calzaghe did it when he boxed Jeff Lacey. So, you know, but these good fighters can get themselves so far along. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when it comes to the crunch, you need somebody decent in your corner. But, you know, getting back to Kell, hopefully, you know, he will win on Saturday. It won't be a problem. You know, he's in good shape. He looked in good shape yesterday when I saw him. He'll win that fight. I don't know if the Khan fight's going to happen. Maybe he's going to go down and box Jared Hurt. Who knows? But he's got probably 1 or 2 big fights left in him. You know, he's getting to the age now where, you know, you need your speed, you need your reflex. And at 32, going on to 33 and 34, you know, that starts to leave you. I've had fighters, Johnny Nelson, Junior Witter, who were very good, skillful fighters, and they made their careers last a lot longer because they managed to keep away from people and keep the distance. You know, Johnny Nelson boxed till I think he was 36. And, you know, for a big guy, that's a late age. And, you know, he's not got a mark on him, he's got all his faculties. But he always boxed at distance, he never got involved and kept it long. But you can see with some fighters who start off in their career as fast box, everything else, they get to the point where they just stood in the middle of the ring taking punishment, and you've got to make sure you never hit that point, or you get out before you get to that point.